It's Thursday, September 26th, right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Gabriella Becerra in Goodyear. A sixth grader was assaulted by another student at school. Tonight, his mom explaining why she thinks the district didn't handle it appropriately.
We're really racking up the records. When will these towering temperatures finally fall below 110?
I'm Chase Golightly in Gilbert, where a 7-year-old girl is still recovering from a rattlesnake bite earlier this month. Why the family says this isn't your typical case, coming up.
And the Arizona State Fair is back open for the weekend. How you can make the most out of your trip without breaking the bank.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
We begin tonight in the West Valley, where a mother is calling for stricter bullying consequences after her son was attacked by another student at school. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Divine.
I'm Mark Curtis. It happened at West Star Elementary in Goodyear, and while the student bully was punished, the victim's mother isn't satisfied. She doesn't think the punishment was sufficient. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is live tonight in Goodyear with a look at the changes that mom would like to see. Gabby?
Well, Mark, Caribe, the sixth grader here at West Star Elementary School, is still experiencing medical issues after being attacked on the playground 2 weeks ago. And tonight, his mom tells me the student who attacked him is now back in class. A phone call no parent wants to receive.
The principal had called me and said there was an altercation. It was unprovoked, and he was assaulted.
Christina Guglielmo is heartbroken for her 11-year-old son, telling me he was attacked by another student during recess at West Star Elementary School in Goodyear on September 10th.
He went up for a catch, fell, and then she just came skipping in and assaulted him.
That student, an 11-year-old girl, allegedly punched the boy several times. Guglielmo says she took her son to the emergency room with cuts and swelling all over his face.
He said I didn't want to defend myself because she's a girl. But when I watched the video, I realized he wouldn't even be able to defend himself.
The girl was suspended for 8 days, a punishment Guglielmo doesn't believe is severe enough.
We can just bully kids and get away with it. It should be, a no tolerance policy.
Liberty Elementary School District tells 12 News the length of the girl's suspension was at the higher end of the discipline matrix, which is approved by the elected governing board. In a statement, a district spokesperson says in part, the district is fully committed to a safe learning environment that is supported by a transparent and fair discipline process. Liberty Elementary School Board President Michael Todd resigned following this incident, posting on Facebook that he lost faith in the leadership of the district.
The district is not taking this serious.
Goodyear police are also investigating, telling us their department submitted assault charges to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. That student is now back at school, and Guglielmo says her son is terrified. She wants the student expelled.
He shouldn't be the one to have to leave. He's a great kid. He gets great grades. He's never had any type of disciplinary action. And I feel like this student really needs a higher level of care before she hurts somebody else.
And I reached out to former school board president Michael Todd about his decision to resign, and he did not get back to me. Live in Goodyear, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. New at 10, one person has died after a crash in Central Phoenix. It happened around 5:30 this evening in the area of 19th Avenue and Roosevelt. Phoenix police say that 4 cars were involved in the crash, one of them leaving the scene before police arrived. A man died of his injuries, while 2 other adults and 2 children are expected to survive. Investigators are now looking into what caused the crash.
I don't know how many different ways we can describe this heat. And the record-breaking temperatures are set to continue tomorrow and into early next week. Meteorologist Crystal Long is here with your weather impact forecast. Crystal, more records today?
Yeah, they're really starting to pile up now, Mark. Just take a look at the record recap today. Phoenix locked in its 63rd 110 temp of the year. That beats out the 1989 record. But look at this. We have new records all around, from the Old Pueblo over to Winslow, Prescott, and Flagstaff, just to keep that list short here for you. Now at 10:06 this evening, we're down into the double digits, Phoenix. Yay! 69 Prescott, 75 Sedona, 71 in Winslow. Enjoy it while you got it, because tomorrow we're back under the mercy of that excessive heat warning, and it's going to have staying power through Tuesday now. So 5 more days to go. You could see why Phoenix on pace to pull off 113. You guessed it, that's a record tomorrow. Even hotter in Gila Bend, triple ones in Havasu, 95 Prescott, that's a record for you, and 84 in Flagstaff, also a record. Bottom line, it's probably a record. Now to our 12 News exclusive monsoon meter. Nothing really to show and tell here other than a bunch of goose eggs. We only have 4 more days to go, you guys, but dry, dry, dry is part of the story.
All right, Crystal, thank you. New developments tonight in our coverage of Valley teen violence. A teen has pled guilty to 2 violent assaults and has been sentenced to 3 years of probation. Now, prosecutors say that 19-year-old Gage Garrison is linked to the so-called Gilbert Goons, a group that's been linked to several cases of teen violence. Garrison is one of several teens involved in an assault that happened in a parking garage back in December of 2022. He was also involved in a group assault at a party that same month.
New at 10, a last-ditch effort to keep social workers employed in one of Arizona's largest school districts. 2 weeks ago, the Peoria Unified School Board voted to abandon a federal mental health grant that was worth $275,000. That vote caused outrage. 12 News journalist Joe Dana first brought us this story, and tonight takes a look at the latest developments.
Many around here just found it hard to believe that a school board would vote to reject federal grant money to support a team of social workers and their staff. But that's what happened here 2 weeks ago when board members Heather Rooks and Becky Proudfit voted against the extension. That opportunity is gone, but tonight, a new vote.
Social workers have a superpower that not a lot of people have.
A packed board meeting as a community comes to the rescue of their social workers.
So what? There's still 30 social workers available. Why take away any?
The district lost federal funding for a team of 3 supervisors and their 14 interns after the vote earlier this month. Last year alone, the team served more than 1,800 students.
This year alone, we have had 690 signed consents from parents who want us to support their students.
The vote by board member Heather Rooks was not a surprise, but board president Becky Proudfit surprised everyone because she had indicated publicly she supported the social workers. Her reasoning 2 weeks ago was she opposed using a temporary federal grant. Tonight, Proudfit apologized. The board voted 4-0 to use district funds to keep the social workers in place through the school year.
It did lead to some chaos in the district, and I want to take accountability for that.
Many educators worry Peoria Unified reflects a broader trend as school boards nationwide are under pressure from some social conservatives to eliminate positions related to mental health.
I'm saying there has to be a happy balance between overtaking our schools with mental health and get back to focusing to teaching your kids how to read, write, arithmetic.
This board changed course.
Thank you, President Proudfit, for your public apology.
Mental health advocates worry these kinds of battles are not going away. There's still a chance the district will not have to foot the bill for this team of social workers. They're waiting on word of a new federal grant they've applied for. That's expected by the end of this month, though that will also require the board's majority vote. Joe Dana, 12 News.
All right, Joe, thank you. Tonight in Gilbert, a 7-year-old girl bit by a rattlesnake is lucky to be alive after the family claims that several doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. In fact, the 2nd grader went more than a day without being properly treated. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly spoke with Allie and her family this afternoon about the terrifying situation.
I got 2 blues.
7-year-old Allie Brassfield is in good spirits.
Do fun games that'll keep her active.
Especially since she just got home from the hospital after being there for several days.
Was very shocking.
Her mom, Amber, telling us that earlier this month, Allie and her dad were out for a walk near Gilbert Regional Park when Allie took a fall.
It didn't hurt right away.
But then they noticed her ankle started to bruise, so they went to the hospital.
I said, everything's fine, go home.
When they did, Allie became sick.
Something abnormal, like you don't usually start throwing up with a sprained ankle.
The bruise on her ankle then spread to her entire leg, turning to a dark color. They then went to the hospital again, and still doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. That is until they went to Phoenix Children's Hospital, where doctors ran a toxicology report, learning Allie was bit by a rattlesnake.
There was no puncture wounds, no one saw a snake, no one heard a rattle.
Bringing little relief to her mom and sister.
It was just all that much scarier knowing what the reality was.
Doctors then rushed Allie into emergency surgery, doing all they could to save her life more than 30 hours after she was bit.
Multiple blood transfusions, and she had to have 40 vials of anti-venom. Even the toxicologist said, like, hey, you're my new record. I've never given this much anti-venom before.
Amber believes it was because of how long it took to figure out what was wrong. But 2 surgeries and dozens of vials later, it worked.
They saved her life, they saved her leg.
Incredibly grateful to the doctors who saved her daughter's life, Amber now worries about the cost of this, telling us their insurance doesn't cover anti-venom, which can be anywhere from $1,000 to $17,000 a vial.
Very overwhelming to think you might be leaving with a $400,000 bill.
While they wait to see what happens, they're focusing on getting Allie back on her feet.
She has a wheelchair and a walker.
The second grader has another surgery coming up, and then will start physical therapy. In the meantime,
you can do it. We're going to get you back playing.
It will be more board games with the family.
I got the ice cream.
The family has started a GoFundMe account to help pay for those medical bills. You can find that link on our website. We're in Gilbert. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, so glad to see Allie is smiling there. Chase, thank you.